Hey ladies, Sharon here. I am so glad you joined me again today. It's good to see your friends. Okay, remember I told you that once I got kind of moved and organized, I'm not actually in the main filming room that I'm going to do. I'm leasing a space down off of the business center, but I'm getting enough light for what I need while they're still decorating. But I'm going to go ahead and start my small hooded eye looks. And I know this is such a huge thing. For 2 years that I've been on YouTube, every single question or every other one or most of my private messages are about, Sharon, how do we do small hooded eyes? Now, I've recommended a lot of different sites of other people doing it. They have hooded eyes, but for some reason they don't have small little hooded eyes, and that seems to be a really big deal. I mean, there are so many different types of hooded eyes out there, it's pathetic. But I am going to try to show you. We're going to start with part one. And part one today of the small hooded eyes is actually stenciling or mapping out the areas that we want to contour, that we want, where do we want the main shadow, where do we want a transition color, how do we do the outer V, you know, so on and so forth. So I want to get started on that. The products that I'm going to use are not necessarily what you're going to use every day. This is not an eye look. I'm showing you merely how to stencil each and every area out with the particular colors that you choose. So I'm going to have a lid color, which I chose to use white. I'm going to have a medium color, which is going to be kind of an espresso or brown. That's going to be to show you where to put the transition and tie the eye in together. Then I'm probably going to use a black shadow just to show you how to do the outer V. So don't panic, these aren't the regular colors that you normally will use. This is just to show you the placement for the small hooded eye. So this is how I begin. I have on all my skincare, my foundation. I have already primed my eyes. Now, I prime my eyes with Painterly Pot by MAC. It's easy. I just use a brush, rub it all over, and then I pat it into my eyelids with my fingers. I also go underneath my lash line with a Painterly Pot. So I'm adding warmth to it and using my fingers to smooth out the lines and wrinkles. My eyes are the biggest issue in my face because I have obviously crepey eyelids now, and I'm getting all kinds of lines, bags, and crepiness underneath. Well, I have been. So there's lots of other things we can do, but we got to get by every day, girlfriend, right? We got to be looking good and fine and cute. So we got to make do with what we've got. So these are some tricks that may help you. The first thing I do after I totally prime the eye, I'm going to take a wash of any light color, and I'm just going to choose Makeup Geek here, and I'm just going to wash it over my lid, okay? You can also use the By Terry hyaluronic powder lightly, okay, over your eyelid. You want to tap off all the excess because, believe me, as pigmented as some of this is going to be. Okay, so you've just basically done a wash of the eyelid. I'm going to primarily be working with this one eye right here. So at the end you can see the difference in how your eye starts to look larger. So bear with me through this. The first thing I always do, if I'm mapping out my eye, I am going to take just a pencil. In this particular color, this is going to be an espresso, and I put a dot at the corner of this eye, right here. I put a dot, right where your eyes come together. You see that? All right, this is going to be the template to pull the eye all together. For instance, I'm going to take this pencil while we have this, and I'm going to tie it into the bottom line. So I'm going to bring it down, and I'm actually going to stop right before the end of this iris. You following me? All right, so you make your dot and just bring it down. Now this is a pencil. I don't want you to use pencil. I want you to use shadow, but I'm showing you with pencil, so work with me here. And I'm going to make it darker so you can see with the camera lighting. All right, the next thing that I want to do, while I have this here, I'm going to make this dot, I'm going to raise this up a little bit. Just kind of put a little tail on it, okay? All right, because when I put that tail on, and feel free to lift your lid if you have to. Okay, what we're going to do there is put a little tail on it, because I am going to totally tie that in. Now watch what I'm going to do. I am going to take any type of smooth little brush. I think I'm going to take this brush, and I don't know what it is, but it was a Sigma, okay? And it's just a flat little paddle brush. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the same espresso color that I have here, all right? So I'm going to dip this in a darker brown just for purposes of the camera. And I'm going to attach this, turn your brush this way, and go up. See what I'm doing? Now remember, this is darker than you would do. I'm just showing you how you attach the eye together. Okay. Now, once you have that done, we know that's about where the transition line is going to be. Because later, you're going to blend it all out. Now, for my lid color, while we're doing this, I'm going to put on something very white, okay? So, just to show you, this is going to be your lighter color, your lid color, okay? Okay, now I am going to stop right there. I'm only going to put the lid color right here. Use a little wider. Okay, I've got that. Now, while I'm sitting here, I'm going to say to myself, okay, self, let's go ahead and do the corners of the eye because, you know, we're going to need to do that anyway. Keep in mind when you're working with small hooded eyes, you need really small brushes. I use things when I'm doing my detail work like these. They're short. Now these are Japanese brushes. You can get them at Ulta and you can get them at Amazon. I'll put a link down below for all these brushes. But you'll need small brushes for detail work. Now, because I'm going to go in the center, you can use a pencil brush or you can use a small little detail brush. See what I'm seeing? There you go. So you've tied, and this is a teeny tiny little Japanese brush, but this is heaven. It beats my pencil brush from Sigma all the heck, I tell you. So there you have that. Now, let's say, okay, Sharon, this is good. We've got it mapped. We know we're going to be, you know, contouring the top, blending it out. Okay, let's just start blending a little bit. Now, the trick to blending is not to push hard. I don't care how short your brush is. Start at the end, okay, and do just like windshield wipers. All right, we're going back. Now, I'm not bringing the tail off of this side. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. Because I want it to look bigger and rounder, okay? Because, I mean, obviously, I have little tiny eyes. So, we're going to blend this out. Now, keep in mind, this isn't the color I would normally use. But it's got to show up. Now, okay, so now I've got to work on the outer V. I'm going to pick up, for purposes here, the same pencil that I was using. Okay, I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to attach to the corner here. I'm going to pull it down towards my eye. This is weird working with this brush. With this pencil. Okay, so what we want to do now is we're going to eventually blend that out, because that's going to be your outer V. See, everything is tying in together. So, in order to tie it in, let's see if I can get this pencil to move on me like I want it to. You're going to make circles. Okay, you're going to make circles and push it into your lighter color. Because this is your outer V. Are you following me? Do you see how it's working? Okay, once you start blending all this together and moving it over into your lighter color, it's going to soften all the edges up. Kind of see what I mean? Are you getting the idea? It's not perfect, but I think you're getting the idea of what you need to do. You can see this makes your eye look larger. Now underneath, you want to make sure whatever colors you're using to use the same color. And you want to soften that line. Now you want some sort of small, and I say brush for underneath. When you have small eyes, you cannot put a thick line down there. It's going to be too much of a shadow. But we need some sort of shadow to open up the eye. Alright, so basically now what we've done here, we've taken care of this outer V. Let me use a little shadow and we can help blend that. You can get the idea. And see how it ties in? It's all tied in under here. Do you see how it all attaches? Alright, and then when you blend it, okay, this is how you do it. You just keep blending it till it's softer. And like I said, when you have your right colors going on, it's going to be perfect. You can go back in, or I'm going back in, to make sure my white is just perfect. And you want to tap and drag on the lighter color when your eyes are small. So do you see what I'm talking about? Actually, you need no shadow. But if you do, you want to take an angled brush. If you have small hooded eyes, take an angled brush like this, wet it. You don't have to lick it. I lick mine sometimes. Stick it into my shadow and push the color into your eye next to your eyelash. You never want to draw a thick line, because see, we don't have anything to work with here. You know, all we've got is this hood coming down here, and our eye is so short, we don't have a lot of space. I know people think, oh great, you got small hooded eyes, you can fix your eyes in about 3 minutes. No, it takes more work than that, because they're small hooded eyes. But that is the way to do the eyeshadow. I don't like using a pencil, and I don't like using a liquid liner, because it's going to get too thick down the line. We mature ladies need to stick with just an eyeshadow and just push it into your lashes. Now, I do tight line. So when I tight line, I can't do like the rest of it because I wear contact lenses. So I have to lift my eye up to tight line right under my eye. On the bottom, I always put a bone color or a white color. But this basically is the placement for small hooded eyes. There is another technique, and I'll be showing that in part 2. I'm going to show you how to find that crease the easy way with stenciling. So, like I said, this looks a little bit like I'm a lady of the night, but I had to get these colors so you could see it on camera. This is the lighter color, this espresso that I used, this eye pencil, was a dark brown. Ordinarily, that would be what you would call your, more transition color, your medium color. And then I used the black, for the outer V, and you could always use a darker brown. You could add some red into it. You could add some, it depends on the colors you're using. I'm using a lot of coppers this summer also, so a darker copper, but this is to let you see how you map out the eye. I hope this helps ladies with the small hooded eyes. I know it's taken me forever and ever to work up a technique, but this is what works for me. But the Japanese brushes definitely help. So I'll see you in my next video, part 2, with another stenciling technique for the small hooded eyes. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, all my new subbies. I love you, girls. We're just having fun chatting. I'm catching up, you guys. Hang on to your seats, because I have seen so many great videos, and I'm dying to comment on all your videos, and I'm getting around to it. Just bear with me, little bit by little bit. And I want you to have a sassy, classy, and confident week. And be sure and give me a big thumbs up on this video.